Good morning to you all again. By special request, I've been asked to show the insides of the greenhouses. Now, sorry if I sound a bit croaky. I've got a sore throat, feel like death warmed up, but nevertheless you're going to get this video. This was really instigated by a couple of my bulb friends. It's interesting that people that collect lamps and that seem to be interested in plants as well. So this one is mainly, well, it's for all of you, but I know Chris and Alec have asked to see more of these plants, and hopefully you all will enjoy. As I say, it's not a particularly nice day out at the moment. It's Wednesday morning. You can check the time. I make it 9:09. That's great. Yeah, it's Greenwich Mean Time. So we'll see in this house and the other greenhouses. Anyhow, let's get down to plants. I have shown all these before, but perhaps a little bit more detail this time. The plant we're looking at now is Aloe Variegata. It's lost its roots, but hopefully it is making a root and should be okay. This plant there is actually an orchid. Don't ask me what species, but that's an orchid. We've got a few bits and bobs at the back here. Some variegated aloes. These are actually cultivars, I believe. Those are not mine, by the way, they belong to Jean. We've got some nice flowering Palos Pilos. Further on, some baby's toes, or Fenestraria, the window plant. Fenes meaning window. And Coreopsis. A few gibbums at the end. I lost my very large gibbum plant. I think it has just come to the time when age caught it out, and it went. It was a great pity, because I think that was the largest one in the country. Well, it was, not anymore. Anyhow, I'll speed up a bit. These light green plants are true cacti. It's a Rhipsalis ceruscula. It's an epiphytic cacti which would grow on trees in areas of Brazil, I believe, certainly South America. Rhipsalis ceruscula. Some more seedlings coming on. One of my favourites is Palos Pilos Nelli. As I said before, Nelli is named after Gert Cornelius Nel, who was a botanist in South Africa, and that's who this beautiful plant is named after. There is incidentally a red form going about. They said I will show it to you all. As I say, there's so much interest in these plants and my other hobbies, which are obviously shared by some other very good friends. This is we've got a Pereschia there. That's a cacti as well. You wouldn't think it was. It's Pereschia. I think that's Pereschia aculeata. And moving further down, some plants of Xeriosechias, Danguii, the penny plant. These plants come from Madagascar. I imagine they're quite rare. You occasionally see them on eBay. Some go for a sensible price, while others go for a ridiculous price. Xeriacetus dangui. The plant at the back there is not a succulent. That's a species of Tradescantia. Tradescantia was named after John Trescant, who was a botanist. Hence the name Tradescantia. Another Pereschia. Looking further down, we got some more Xeriacetus. I'll show you in the other house the other species, so you get an idea what it's like. Anyway, I'm going to leave this greenhouse and go to the other greenhouse, so things will move fast. As you can see, looking at the ground, soaking wet. The rain's actually stopped at the moment. Now, we saw the garden yesterday, so I won't linger there. It's actually, for the time of year, it's not cold today, which makes a change. Now, let's have a look in this greenhouse. This is one of the Mesembryanthemum houses. We did do this one the other day, so things might have changed a wee bit, I don't know. And they're looking particularly nice at the moment. That's, now let me get the name right. It used to be called Herianthus mayeri, plant named after Hans Herrer, but it's now under the Conophytum. It's Conophytum herrii, I think is the correct name. We've got a large mammillaria, some more glottiphilums. As I say, we're in November and I've got blooms. Some more of the plants on the top. Next year I'm going to have to go through this lot and do a lot of cleaning up. I've been a bit lazy this year, as I say. I haven't been in the best of health, but I feel a bit better now. There's another Herianthus or Conophytum herrii. This square pot we're looking at is Neoheringia Sibetii. It's a very small growing mesem. It forms like carpets, but when the flowers come out, which open at night, it's very, very strong scent. Neoheringia Sibetii. Some more glotties. We've got a few Corydoxus at the back. Wherever you look, there's plants in here. And we've got to have a lot of sorting out. Anyway, the table at the end, which we're looking at now, has some biggies. The plant I'm looking at is Phocia crispa. You have to say that name a bit careful. Phocia crispa. That's done well, actually. There's all the top growth, and there's the caudex. They call this growth a caudex. It's a caudiciform plant, and when the plant's in rest, all this annual growth dies back. Similarly can be said about the next plant along here, which is Testudinaria elephantapes. Excuse the pots in there. This is also in growth and showing annual growth and stems. Once again, that is the base. It looks a bit like a tortoise. Elaphantapes, or a Dioscuri elaphantapes. This was a plant years ago, was propagated and grown, I believe, in South Africa for the production of cortisone. Now this was a long time ago. Cortisone, I think, is made artificially now, but at one time that was the plant that was used for cortisone. There's a lovely Agaroderma, silver skin. And of course Agaroderma always reminds me of a trip I had to Germany and seeing these grown by the thousand. Literally the thousand. Because the young lady who was doing them was sorting out the species, which was quite difficult. There's another one there in bloom. And another one. This is the best they've looked for a time. So I had trouble with some compost that I was using. There's another Fenestraria. I rather like Fenestraria. In the wild, Fenestrarias grow completely buried, except just showing the tops. So all you would see there is the tops, which is translucent, and obviously the window, and that refers to the name, and that's where light penetrates into it. So the size of the leaves you wouldn't see, they'd be buried. You'd probably only notice it if it was in bloom. But in England and I suppose Europe and most countries where it doesn't get as hot as South Africa, you have to grow it like that with the leaves exposed. Looking over a few pots, don't look very healthy at the moment, but I think they'll be right. These were plants which I say I had trouble with a certain type of compost. It was a John Innes compost. All I'm allowed to say is that if you buy John Innes, try and get it from a good garden centre. Avoid getting it from a do-it-yourself place. I'm not allowed to mention the name, but you can probably guess. It's a very, very large do-it-yourself place in England, and they got branches elsewhere as far as I know. But anyhow, that's what happened. It killed a lot of my plants, so needless to say, I'm not very happy about it. There's some of the other ones. Another glotty there. I think I had better speed up a bit. They're not going to see everything. They're in bloom. Plant at the back we're looking at is Clinia articulata. Articulator refers to the stems, which you can just see them being made up of joints. They are articulated. So Clinia articulated. Or the name is sometimes known as Senecio articulator. Anyhow, let's leave this greenhouse and go into the Opuntia house. Right, we're looking at the Opuntias now. This house I've got to sort out next year. It's a case of getting in there. I'm going to have to very carefully lift this one out, which I can never remember the name, but we'll check it. Yeah, so we can check it. I can't even see the name. This is a problem. A lot of these names, it's I do know the name, but it slipped me at the moment. It's a particularly nice one. Got these lovely bluey pads. Normally each year you'll put on from each stem one extra pad. You rarely see it doing two, it does the one, and so each of these ends would be another pad would be produced. And some other plants are back there which are desperately in need of me having a look at them and sorting them out. No, I'm quite pleased with the plants. I'm just hoping the battery on this video camera is going to last out. Now what I tend to do is put it on charge. So I've always got a new or freshly charged battery before I do my vids. Well, there's the Apuntias. Now this house normally remains unheated, but if it does get extra cold, I've got the old socket up there in the wall which I can plug a heater into. Let's go right along to the next house. Yeah, this is the largest house I've got. And as I've shown these many times throughout the year, but you get an idea of how they will change, obviously. And this time is not the best time of year. A lot of the stuff is going into rest. There's lots of dead leaves now. Where's the plants going to rest? So they, it's got to recover for next season, when hopefully they'll produce new leaves and a plant will do them. Once again, I've mentioned this numerous times, my poor Sylvaticas, Dioscuri sylvatica, they have done nothing except die, which is a shame. It's a gamble. It's a gamble when you buy these plants. You know what the gamble is, so it's up to you whether you buy them or not. A lot of people don't touch them because of this, but I do like a challenge, and most times the plants are perfectly okay. And there's some lovely things. I've got to go round this lot and remove any of the dead leaves. The heating does come on here, as you can see. That's not on at the moment, but if the temperature drops, the little bulb next to it will light up. And the same with this propagator. The lovely propagator that I've modified it in various ways. Me bits and bobs along there. For you bulb collectors, let me show you that. That is well used. That's a Russian neon which was on to indicate that we got power here. I'll change it over to another one which is well used. They do go black after a while, as that one has. Anyhow, getting back to the plants. Tephro-cactus at the back, or Apuntias. The Phophora williamsi. Unfortunately, they had a little bit of red spider damage, and it's still in bloom. This is unbelievable. This is Ariocarpus agavioides, so named because the tubercles, which are these little pieces here, resemble an agave. So it's Ariocarpus agave. Ariocarpus means with flowers like aria, which I believe is another plant. Ariocarpus agaveoides, very slow grower, and lucky to have it growing that long. The next one to it is Encephalostrom. The second name Strombiformis, and that's in bloom. Another slow grower. Strombiformis means like a fir cone, and if you look at the shape of the plant, you can almost mistake it as a fir cone. Some more Opuntias at the back. Another Testudinaria elephantapes, which has not shown anything as regards growth. We still wait, we still hope. It could suddenly burst into growth with some annual stems. Next to that we've got Ubulmania pectinifera. It's a cacti. Pectin, I believe, means like a comb. We've got a young Lophophora. Moving along a bit, we've got Monodinium, which is still in bloom. Well, I say in bloom with tongue in cheek. Those are actually the bracts. Monodinium spectabile. And that's looking quite good at the moment. Of course, this time of year you have to be very careful with the watering. Don't give it too much, or if any now. A few more Opuntias. Opuntias can grow quite large, but as long as you keep them in check, they should be okay. My Leuchtenbergia principus. Few more small plants. This green coating's actually a heating cable in there. It's all controlled down here. Thermoset. It did at one time have those cloche type covers, but I don't use those. I just use it as a heating cable. So if the temperature does go down, that comes on and hopefully keeps the plant going. Now I mentioned Xeriosichius, the small leafed one. Well, there's the small leaf one. Xeriosichius dicarii, also a Madagascan plant. My poor Euphorbia Susanni, I don't know why it's got this white stuff on it. I've tried treating it. What I may do is spray it with a solution of chinosol. I bought a sample of that quite a while ago. Chinosol, as far as I know, it's only supplied from Germany, and as it is a German concoction. It's I've slipped me what the chemical is, but it is a fungicide, and we'll try that on there. I've tried everything else. See what it is, these diseases and fungi, bacteria are getting stronger, and they're avoiding being killed off with our old stuff. Mind you, can't get the very old stuff now. I don't know if you remember malathion. That was what we used to swear by years ago, but you can't get it now. And another one was Fowler's. That was sort of, I think, based on malathion, but they've all been banned. You can't use them. There's my beautiful Lowy eyes. I'm hoping I can get these through the winter. They're echiverias, but they're difficult. And talking about difficult plants, I managed to pick those up at I think it was the Mesem show. They're obviously not Mesems, they're Stapeliads. Pseudolithos migeratinus. There's the name. And pseudo means false, and lithos means stone. The second name's migeratinus. I'm going through the names particularly because one of my subscribers, he is pretty good on names, and he impressed me with a particular plant. So, you know, if I can give the names where I can, I will. Those tall plants at the back is Haworthia longiana. And that longiana doesn't refer to the fact the leaves are long. It's named after a person. Another variegator, Aloe variegator. This one is rooted. A few more Mesems. I've shown this one before. This plant is not mine, by the way. It's Dicaria. Dicaria. It's commonly known as the zigzag plant. And next to it is my old favourite, the horse crippler. We've got a bulb there of the plant. And I'm going to speed up a bit. The end shelf has some nicer puntias or tephrocatus. These are kept up there out the way. They get watered, but as you can see, some of them have very, very long spines, like that one there, and they can be a bit nasty. There's another Xeriosicius Danguii. I don't know how you make them flower. I've never been able to get them to flower. Flowers are produced. In fact, the plants are either male or female. It's called dioecious. So, without them flowering, I don't know if it's a man or a lady. Going a few more along here. I know you've seen these. They've come on a bit. The plant at the back with the purple flowers, Serilames, which means, I believe, wax-like. They say there's some more baby's toes. Plants down the bottom, being overwintered here. There's a large Pereschia. And we've still got flowers on my Conophyllum or Mitrophyllum. It's still in bloom. Very pleased with these. The one next door to it is Philobolus resurgens, and that is cracking at the moment. It really is. And these are winter growers. They rest during summer, but when the winter comes, a little bit of water on them, they burst into life. The same as these ones, the Mariophytums mayeri, as I mentioned before. Coming up to some of the lithops. Now, it was the lithops that really suffered from this lousy, crappy compost. And I think I've won, but I've lost all the plants.